Greetings! Welcome back to Pink Odd Bird. Okay friends, today we are finally done. I don't know if you've been following along, but I have been revamping the theme of these journals. They originally started out as like a gothic kind of Christmas book centered like around Scrooge and Grinch. I will link it or I'll put it up here so that you can take a look at it if you want to see what they originally looked like. But here they are now. I switched the theme to Enchanted Forest. I'm so happy with the way they've turned out. I've shared videos here with the process of me altering these books into what they are now. And today we're going to look at the final flip through. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's two of these. I'm going to set one aside and we'll look at these one at a time. And I'm going to name them by the charms that I added to the bookmarks. So this one here is going to be Fox. It's got this little fox charm at the bottom. That's the bookmark for the book. I completely redid the covers on these. So they're all new. The fabric is totally different. So happy with how they turned out. I didn't know if I was going to be able to like really pull this off or if it was going to look cohesive and seamless, and it does. And I'm so happy about that. I use a little Arthur Rackham image on the cover here. And then the frame is one that I did a lot of mixed media on from my Gilded Frames prompt that Priscilla did on the Shabby Creep, I think, challenge. And so that's when I made this frame out of chipboard, put it all together, added some buttons and like little gold wax and stuff like that to make it metallic. There's 4 signatures in the book. All the papers are the original hand-dyed pages by me. It is a hollow back book, so you're able to lay this book 100% completely flat when it's open because of that. On the spine, or on the, I always call this the spine. On the profile, you've got lots of textiles, beautiful charms that are handmade by me, lots of fun textiles, ribbon, pom-poms, fibers, just a lot of goodness. I felt really lended itself to like that foresty vibe. Opening up now. So at the front cover, I've added in a tag that I made here, and this one has the Ex Libris on it, so you can add your name here. You can write a little something on the back with metallic pen or black marker if you want to. I still kept the images from Priscilla Release the Craftins Christmas kit that I used because they were not overtly Christmas. They really look like a maybe wintry kind of blustery forest vibe. So I really, really loved it with a hint of like creepiness, which was perfect. So here we have this little owl, and then on the back is a piece of hand-dyed paper that I dyed green, and you can see it's got little traces of that same kind of like purpley red that is all throughout the book. I also did some stenciling on the back page of this pocket. So here I just added this little piece of paper. It can act as like a background if you want to put your picture there or some kind of image, or maybe put paper over it and write over it, and then you can always use the space around to write on. Antique book page, and then I made these little paper clusters, and I used some of these little gold fabric flowers. More hand-dyed papers, and then hand-stitched ribbon on the side of the page. There's that same gold trim that I'm talking about there. And then this is one of the pages that we completely covered. It has such like a nice matte texture now. I love this. So here I added this little piece in. I left it open, but you can always glue down the sides and turn it into like a double pocket situation, or you can leave it open if you're interested in reading the page. But I thought it was perfect because it's like about a national park. So here, let me grab a little something. I have a little belly band here, and I want to show these because I did not want to overstuff the book. So whoever gets these books has space in here to add their own things. So I'm going to show when there's a pocket. So this here is a belly band, and then the middle piece is a pocket, and then this is one of the Shabby Creep snake x-rays. I just tore this paper and distressed it, a little cap tag with coffee dyed paper on the back. And then these little pockets I had embossed. They're metallic paper. a big lace pocket here. I left one side empty, and this was an original piece from the books when they were in their old themes, but I thought it was so cool. It's a repro of my original ephemera that I have. I just made a copy of it and distressed it, but it's so cool. Here I did hand dyed a tag. It's got red and green, and then you can see there's just like some traces of like stains on the back, and it just makes it look really nice and grungy. And this pocket is all hand collaged, so I made like a masterboard, and then I sealed it, and then I just cut random pieces of it to make pockets like here and there in the book. I added these rub-on, little filigree rub-ons to the pages. Here's a piece from Priscilla's Shabby Creep kit. It's got lots of bugs in it. And then this was also an original piece. It's a little tag with the heart, and it's kind of like ripped open, so I thought that was kind of cool. And here is a jumbo tag backed with some more of that same dyed paper. You can see I got different variations of green throughout the dyeing process, so it's really kind of cool on that one. Handmade charms on the paper clips. I've got a handmade charm on all of them. This is one of the jumbo tags that Priscilla makes, and I backed this on cardstock, so you're able to stain it or just stamp it, stencil it, just write on it, add to it, whatever you want to do. You can also maybe use this as a big writing board for the book if you wanted to. Craft paper on the back. Look at how the variations are on the dyed paper. I love it so much. There's another fabric ruffle that I made. I did some stamping through the book. It's a cardstock tag, stenciling on the back. If you want to make great use of all your pages, you can also write on the backs of these. That's what I do in my journal. I don't let just like a blank pocket just be a pocket. I also write on those. So I would like write here, and then I would also just write here, and then you can also write on the back of the tag. And then stuff, even more stuff in there. So we've got just a little piece from a paper cutout here, and then I did this fabric tag. It's got like a creepy house on it. And I backed that one on cardstock, did some stitching to the tag. And this was also one of the original pieces, which is a fabric envelope, which I made using book pages. So I left these empty so you can stuff them up with whatever you want, but I thought the cardinals were a really cute look. Distressed paper that I dyed. There's another tag. Did some stamping and dyeing on the paper, coffee stained it, and then I used inks to dye it red and green. Here I have a little tag with a metallic label thing, and then you can, this is a Hermelinda tag, you can write on the inside, design it, you can back it with paper on the inside, whatever you want to do. There's another little bug here. And then this is a tag that originally had some stamping on it, but I really coffee stained this piece and stamped it, and then I turned it into a pocket, so now you can add something else in there. And then here's another piece of that collaged masterboard that I made. They feel so cool. Another paper cluster. These are antique pages from, I think, a Bible. And then this is a little image that I had used from my scrap box. Some more of that masterboard, and then I added in this little book page, and it's got lots of cool little poems. Song of the Wandering Aengus, and then on the back it's the fish. The image is really pretty on this as well. And then we have the little heart that goes inside of this little acetate piece here. And then I just added some trim so that you're able to put that in and take it out easily. A little flip out here. Dyed this as well, hand dyed. Some of these little quotes and words, they're all from Release the Craftin'. Here's another jumbo tag, and this one is backed on cardstock. Charm. Another fabric tag, some more stamping. I use all different weights of paper to help give some variety and different textures to each page. And then I showed how I made this. Now, because I made these a little bit bigger, what I noticed is they capture air, and it makes them want to stay down when you're trying to, you know, pull this thing. So like they'll all lift up together, kind of. But if you do it slowly, it'll work. And then if you notice that it's not working, then what I found is if you just flip each one and give it a little press, it'll, like, you know, remember what it's supposed to be doing. And it'll start working for you again pretty easily. You know, it's just me trying to be experimental, just, you know, trying to be a little bit different. And sometimes it works, and sometimes being experimental isn't the best idea. So next time, in retrospect, what I would do is I would make those a little smaller, make these flip things a little smaller as the tutorial showed. But I think overall it's still pretty cool. This says the horror, and then there's another quote from Release to Crafton and some bugs here. So then to close it, you just push this back, and then they all flip back down. And if you wanted, you could add paper to the backs of these, or pictures to the back sides. I think that would be kind of cool. A little fabric flip here. Secret writing. We've got some nature-y kind of tags here. We've got the skull there. And that is backed on that green dyed paper as well. Oh, and I did some more stenciling. Pretty stencil on that one. And I love this paper that I picked with the, like, the bird and the floral. It just really looks like really like wildlife kind of. And then here, another cutout from a piece of paper, 12 by 12 cutout. And then over here, this was a digital that I had printed out, and then I just coffee stained it, and then I sprayed it and stenciled it and stamped on it, so it's just extra writing space. And I created this little belly band here with the butterfly, and then I added a little strip of paper over it just to give it a little extra embellishment. Then we have these little witchy hands, and that's backed on cardstock as well. I love this house because it really looks like something you would stumble across in, like, the woods. It's really cool. And then if you guys remember, we covered up the image that was behind this circle, and I left it because it kind of looked like roots were growing out of the circle. And then I just had some little coffee dyed cardstock, and I cut into little tags, and then you can just tuck like little random things here and there around this circle. And then you just have like a cute like little tuck spot that you can just tuck things into, little notes or whatever you want. I love this paper. It came out a little darker, a little bit more on the purple side. Stamping. So then here we have this pocket that I added, and then the centerpiece is also a pocket, and then the back is plain so that you can add whatever you want to it. See, this is one of those images from Release to Crafton. So good. And the colors of the book really go nicely with this kit. So good. I left the original banana in here. I think it just looks really cool. It's a nice, interesting, odd kind of an element. And it is pink odd bird. So some more of that pom-pom. And then here's another Arthur Rackham image, and this is just extra writing space for the book, and I coffee stained this, sprayed it with spray inks, metallic, and dyed it, stenciled it and stamped it as well, and so you can use this for extra writing. And that's more of my collaged masterboard. Oh, and also this page was completely different before. We also backed this page, and now it's got like the greenery to it. Got some little tags here, some more stenciling, and this one's backed on coffee dyed paper. And then in the center of the signature here, that's a pocket as well. Then we have the little sewing pattern envelope that I made. Did some more stenciling there. And then I left this brain from the original theme. But I love this tag. It's got little spiders in it, confetti, and it's just like a little shaker. And I made sure to back it so that it was sturdy, and you can write on the back of this coffee dyed paper that I made, hand dyed paper. And this tag, I backed it on cardstock, some more hand-dyed paper. I love this little cat over here just sitting in the middle. The charms on this one, some of these are velvet, so the baubles on these are black velvet, and then you have like the multi-rhinestone, and then like the little red pearly, and then a clear pearl at the bottom. So pretty, but I love the velvet ones so much. And then there's this little tag here. It's backed on cardstock. And then this image I just added over the top of the pocket. This is a fabric tag here. I added some paint to kind of like dim it down and make it a little bit more grungy. Love this paper that I dyed. So good. It's always fun to dye papers because you're like, oh, what's it going to be this time? So this page here with the old house. And then up here we've got this tag. I backed that one on cardstock, some mushrooms. And then we added one of the bugs from the Shabby Creep. Jumbo tag on dyed paper. And then I left the little heart tag. You can add that somewhere, write on it, turn it into a pocket. And then I also left this original piece, even though it does say something about Christmas. I just think it's a really nice piece of ephemera that you can use to write on, and I love the way that it dyed. Also, I can't remember the paper I used for this. If it started out as white paper, that dyed really cool. And then here, another jumbo tag, and this one's got some of the red dyed paper that I made. More stenciling on there. And then this page I made as part of Priscilla's challenge as well, but it's got this little butterfly that kind of floats around the page. And then the specimen is like this lobster in a jar, or crab in a jar. Then you can just pull this out, and you've got this little bug, and then there's a spider behind there as well, and there's a little bug off to the side. I added a little bit of moss, and then this paper in the background is the Tim Holtz wallpaper that I completely distressed and tore it and dyed it and all that. And then you can write on the back of this if you wanted to with some metallic pen. And then I also left it open on the side so that it could be like a secret pocket, so you can tuck something in behind there. Some more dyed papers by me. More secret writing space. And then this is also a new edition. This came from Priscilla's kit as well. And I printed it on this paper, which I love. You can actually probably get away with maybe writing, maybe with some black marker on this side if you wanted to, or you can just reserve writing for this side. But it's a nice little additional piece of writing space for the book. And then here is your bookmark with a little fox on it. It's just this little metal fox I've had in my collection for a long time, but it's attached to some sari silk with a garment pin, and then I added a little jump ring to it, so you can use that through the book as you're going. Some more cute little pom-poms, and this is dyed by me also. I wanted to have like variations, like, so I coffee stained it first, so it's coffee stained in the background, and then I added like some dye, food coloring dye over it, so really cool. And then a book page here. I also covered up this page with just like a little bit something more nature-y. And this here is also a pocket on the side. I just added in another cutout from a 12 by 12 page. This is a poem from the Ideals magazine that I found. It was actually so perfect because the poem is called Forest of Peace. And then we've got more Arthur Rackham here on this side. I love the image. This was some another page underneath, and we covered it up with this. And then here is a handmade envelope that I made. It's not sealed, so you can open it and use it as writing space, but I just did a lot of collaging and stitching on this, and then it's got one of my little handmade charms on there as well. Some sari silk, really fun piece. I added this little moon here, and then some sentiment from Priscilla. Added another rub on here. This is vintage paper that I coffee dyed. This page was really cool because it goes from like a brighter red to like a purple, so it's almost like an ombre dye. And then back here in the back, got another piece of that cool ephemera. I sure wish I could remember what paper I used because these are really cool. And this one still says something about Christmas on it, but I wanted to leave it because I thought it was just a really cool piece. And then we've got a fabric tag here, backed on cardstock, and then this tag backed on coffee dyed paper. There's my stamp. Here on the back side, we have this little piece that I embossed. And then this is just a little double tag you can write on both of these pieces. And then I just added this little fringe charm to it. And then in the very back of the book, I also added this envelope, and it's a top loading pocket, so you can add something to this pocket here in the back side. And then I added the little butterfly to act like a stopper for it. And you can just tuck in some extra little whatever you want in the background here. And that is the end of the book. And I love back here, you can see like the layering of the fabrics that I did. So good. So that is Fox. Now I did a little bit more of a slower flip through on this one. I'll flip through the next one, but I'm gonna go a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, here comes the next one. This one here, I'm going to call it Owl because it has like the little brass or bronze toned owl to it. And I did use another author Rackham image for the cover of this one. I also made and gilded this frame. It's got that same beautiful trim on the side, and then on the back side you can't really see this on camera, I don't think, but the red fabric that I used is a velvet. It's a sparkly velvet, so it kind of looks like a twilight night because I layered it with the sheer spiderweb fabric, and the spiderweb is also velvet. So the spiderweb part is velvet, it's sheer, so you can see the metallic of the metallic velvet that's underneath. It's wicked cool. It's probably not picking up on the camera, but it's there. Okay, so here we go on the inside of this one. You also have your Ex Libris tag up at the front. Jumbo little mushy, backed on craft paper. And then here we have a pocket. It's got a little tag inside of there, little cactus. And this is another image from Priscilla that I printed on this paper to add in for extra writing space. I love these little charms like this, especially in a fairy forest book. They look like little bubbles. Little like mushroom chart here. I love that digital. I can't remember where that came from, but it's one that I've had for a while. We covered up that page as well. Another fabric tag, and then here's your little circular tuck spot for this page as well. I added In the Cauldron. Added this little image from Priscilla's kit as well. This little piece will fold out just a little bit for a little bit more writing space. Beautiful little fabric cluster down here. There's another pocket, and in this one I left the garlic from the original theme as well, but I thought it would be kind of cool anyway. Maybe there's wild garlic growing in the forest, but it's a little shaker, and then I backed that one also on some of the green dyed paper that I made. And here's another big piece of that masterboard. So many different types of paper on here. There's vintage paper, book page, even paper towel I added to this. And then you can flip it out and you've got more space to glue on top of or whatever you wish to do. Some more little quotes throughout all of this. Look at that. I don't know what I did there, but I got these striations on the page with the dyeing. Oh, it looks like I had a jumbo paintbrush and I dipped it in red paint and went, that's how it looks. It looks so cool. I can never probably replicate any of that, but I did it once. So there's another belly band there. And then again, you have the bigger pocket with a little mushroom tag. I added a little bee there. And this one, it says, wide, wonderful world. And I like how the tree is the W. And on the back side, you have laughter of the farrier and rhyme chuckles. Little acetate pocket here. Another little cutout from the 12 by 12. Some more of my masterboard and an image from the Shabby Creep. There's that torn up heart. And then here it says hexes and spells. And then I added this little peacock from the sticker book. Another jumbo tag, and that's backed on cardstock. And then here's another one of those layered envelopes that I made. And this also flips up. And then here's this deer, the one deer that gets to remain, and this gold gilded leaf paper behind it. It's really cool. It's got a fabric tag here with like a creepy house on it, and then the forest tag here in the back. I also border punched the pocket just to give a little bit more interest. I love this book page from my garden journal. It was perfect about the topiary. And then here's the Author Rackham image for in here. Same, I dyed it and sprayed it and all that great stuff. And then I left the eel from the original theme, but I just really love this. I think it looks cool, and it really does add like a little odd element. It makes you kind of like wonder, you can get creative. Like if you wanted to create around this, I think it would be kind of cool. Put them in a forest. That would be really interesting. Another Hermelinda tag. And here's another cutout from the 12 by 12. And then I added this image here with the moon. And then in this pocket is the same little tag here, which you can write on that one. And then it just tucks into the side, and then you have the fun fringe is all you'll see on that one. And then here's the little, so see, it needs a little kickstart. So there we go. Gotta go slow, gotta go slow. It'll work. And this one says terrifying. A lot of little forest creatures on that one. So pretty, the trim. I think it's a really good mix of magical, kind of creepy, kind of mysterious, kind of mystical. I love it. I think it ended up turning out so good. I'm really very happy with this project, and I was happy with it before. But like I said, I was open to taking on this challenge of redoing the themes, and you know, I'm happy. I'm still happy. I was happy before, I'm happy now. So we have this pocket here, and then again, the centerpiece is also a bigger pocket, and then on this particular one, I also made this side a pocket. There's another piece of that striated dyeing that I somehow did, and I got a completely different design on this side. So good. Writing space, stenciling on there, a little pocket up here, and then the jumbo tag backed on cardstock. Same on this one, cardstock. Beautiful rose. Added the rub on here. Sewing pattern stamp, and then masterboard. And then here is the bug page over here. You got your jar, and then there's the bug, spider behind. And then we've got the little floating butterfly as well. You can move the butterfly around. It's kind of cool. And then I also left this side as a pocket as well. There's your envelope, and then I added a little bat down here. Look how cool. This almost looks like worms on the paper. It's kind of weird. There's my stamp. You have another tag in here, some butterflies. And then I left this piece in here, compliments of the season, but up at the top I added season of the witch. And then here in the very back, got a jumbo belly band, and we covered up that it said meet me at the mistletoe down here, but we added a little hedgehog to it. And then just in front of that is a little belly band, and it says gone haunting, and then I added this little cutout. And then here in the back I added this quote from Priscilla's quotes kit, and it's a quote from the Blair Witch the Blair Witch Project one is the other book. This one has a quote from Sue Grafton. And of course we have the same little envelope in the back with, well, it's a different paper. Then it tucks behind the butterfly to keep it closed. It's also a top loading pocket for some added space. And that is the end. You guys, I can't believe they're done. They are not overstuffed. They are completely different than what they were before. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to list these babies up in my Etsy, and they will be there until they are not. I genuinely hope that they will find a home with someone who will love them and enjoy adding to them and continue creating within them and making them their own. I have to move on to my next projects now, but I'm happy with these. If you want to check them out, they will be in the description box below. I will put the link to my Etsy shop. I appreciate everyone's kind words, comments, encouragement, and just everything in general over the course of making these on all the videos that I had posted. I appreciate all of you guys so very much. And I think that is going to wrap it up for me for now. Be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.